Well, hello there. I hope my connection isn't shit. I don't know, Colton, if you can tell if my connection is good or not, but
you're just a little laggy. Other than that, you're good.
Okay. Well, I thought I had my internet stuff fixed, but I guess not, unfortunately. I do have a new modem I have to hook up now, so hopefully that fixes all the problems. I don't know. I tested my speed yesterday. I had over 400 download and it was like over 50 upload. Now I have 300 download and 4 upload. Makes no freaking sense. I don't know. It's annoying as shit is what it is. That's what it is. It's annoying. That's what it is. But how's it going, everybody? Enough about my problems and first world problems. How is it going? Colton, it's been a while. What is up, my man?
Yeah,
actually,
it's been a while. Yeah, nothing. Just living life, doing stuff.
Oh, that's neat.
Neat. Working on social media things today. Don't know what I did, but my Instagram, I posted 2 pictures. One's got over 200 likes and I got 1,000 followers.
Interesting.
No clue what I did.
Do it again.
Yeah, I wish I knew what I did. I'd keep on doing it. But I don't know. I logged in. Well, I didn't log in. I opened it on my phone, and it was like just nonstop for like 30 straight minutes of just this has followed you. This person followed you. I was like, so this is what the Kardashians feel like.
Yes, it is exactly how it went for the Kardashians. Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, now I just got to have like sex with Ray J or whoever she did the sex with.
Well, I mean, Kanye is one of them.
Hey, Jesus. Gets a feature on Donda.
Oh, that's weird. All right. So I'm going to do something here. But yeah, things are going. Yeah, they're doing. Oh boy. So I'm trying to do some things here, share this up and everything before we really get started, because I would like to have some people join us. It's been a while, so probably not going to happen.
I'll fill the void here for people that are watching in the future. Hi, future people. I watched Old last night. That was interesting.
Oh, that is interesting.
Yeah. Have you seen anything about it?
I have not.
So basically, these people go to a beach and they age like rapidly. Like, what is it? The kid's like 4 and he just randomly ages like by the end of the film to like 50 in a span of like a day. It's a roller coaster. It's really good. I'm working on a review. I got a whole bunch of stuff in the works right now.
Interesting.
But it's interesting. The spoiler, I will say this: they do kill a baby. Because the way time works, like from conception to birth, 20 minutes. But because time's so accelerated, the baby can't like get enough nutrients to keep on living. So like instantly.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, it's fucking nuts. The ending is even weirder. I was like, I don't even understand what's happening. And the dude, the kid from Hereditary is in it. So.
All right. So, what the heck? I just can't do things. Things just don't want to keep popping up for me. Like, holy crap.
Oh, hey, follow me on TikTok. Polygon Warriors. And Instagram. I'd like to have, I think I have 1,018 followers. So if we can get that up to like 1,020 today, I'd be content.
Oh, my goodness.
So, oh God, I forgot what I was going to say. I hate when that happens.
All right. So, no, okay. We'll get into it now because this is your typical screw up me. I didn't do what I needed to do. And then I was freaking out about my internet and all that jazz. So, all right. Let's just get into it here. We talked about what you've been up to. I've been up to doing a lot of stuff with the YouTube, trying to get subscribers, trying to get people watching and following and listening to us and all that jazz. I think I've been doing pretty good. But what I want to tell you all about is Spoilerverse.com right now. Spoilerverse.com is our podcast / network whole thing majig website. It is an amazing website network. We are exploding right now. I say this all the time. Some big things are coming, and it is true. So make sure you head over to Spoilerverse.com to see all the cool things that are going on over there. And articles, news, other podcasts, Misery Point Radio, Spoiler Country, Narrative Gunslingers, Haphazard Adventures, and so many more. So make sure you head over to Spoilerverse.com. for all of that fun stuff there. And then make sure you hit that like and subscribe button here because, we need you to like and subscribe and do all that jazz and fun stuff here because
this is what the button looks like if you need some instructions.
I don't have all the cool little like things that pop up and stuff like that. I need to get that for StreamYard somehow. But
well, hey, I mean, even if you dislike it, thanks for the view.
Yeah, exactly. Go ahead and dislike it. If you think we suck, hit that dislike button. I don't mind. I don't mind even a little bit.
But then also leave a comment on why you disliked it. So that way I can argue with you.
All right. So did you happen to did you get a chance to see the Suicide Squad?
Yeah, I finally did. I actually watched it later that night. I stayed up till like 2 a.m. watching it.
Yeah.
I was impressed. I'm not even gonna lie. That caught me so off guard.
I gotta say, I went in with pretty low expectations, and I wasn't expecting to be blown away by this movie. I figured at the very least, I would enjoy it as much as I like Birds of Prey. And I did do a review on it, and I hit the good parts and the bad parts, and I would say it was about equal for me. There's equal bad, equal good to it. It's a James Gunn movie, first and foremost. Let's not even, say anything about that. 100%. But it was enjoyable. Like it wasn't not enjoyable, which I know a lot of people are sitting there and they talk about how unenjoyable it was for them. And I just don't understand why they would think it was unenjoyable. I thoroughly enjoyed the movie, and, floppy dong and all, it is what it is.
John Cena is packing the schmeat. I will say that, whether that's a prosthetic or not.
It's 100% a prosthetic. I don't care what anybody says.
I mean, like, well, I could dive into that by itself, but I mean, I was impressed.
Do a whole episode on John Cena's dong.
Oh yeah, I'll break it down from the WWE when he first started, and we'll go up to Suicide Squad. I will say it was cool seeing all the different Suicide Squad members, even if they were on screen for like 5 seconds. But it also makes me wonder, like, why did you get Pete
Davidson and
to play a character for like 45 seconds on screen?
Well.
Like that budget could have been used somewhere else. I'm
Again,
sure.
I don't mind that they do stuff like that. See, that became a thing back in the mid 90s. And what happened in the mid 90s was there was a little movie called Scream that was coming out. And they marketed the shit out of this movie, Scream. And one of the big push and marketing pushes for that movie was the casting of Drew Barrymore. Drew Barrymore in the mid 90s was a big name. And it was like, holy crap, Drew Barrymore in a horror film? Like, what's going on here? We're going to have to check this out. And she then dies, spoilers, dies in the first 5 minutes of the movie. And that's kind of been a trope now that they do with some of these films is they're like, look who's cast. And then they kill them off right away.
I will also say what was it? Starro?
Yeah.
That was cool.
Starro was cool.
I enjoyed that, and I also am mildly surprised the Polka Dot Man made it further than what he did.
I really
made it as far as he did.
Man.
I did too, and I'm so disappointed at that.
What's up, Andrew? I want to see No Way Home because Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man could return. We're going to get into that later in the episode when we start talking about all the movies of 2021 still coming out. So don't worry, we are going to talk about that. So stick around, man. Stick around. We're going to talk about some other things. Now, I got a question for you. Suicide Squad. So you enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. But there's this belief and thought that it bombed, that it failed. It made 70 so far, as of this morning when I looked it up, it made $71 million at the box office, which isn't great. Now, it is a post-pandemic film, and I believe Black Widow a month ago made 80 million or 60 million, and I think Fast 9 made around the same. And that was back in early July. So here we are in August, beginning of August. Suicide Squad only makes $71 million in the box office. Now, HBO Max, rumor has it that they had 2.8 million people watch the movie on their service. Now, we could go, this is absolutely not how they do the math. I'm going to put that out there right now. But let's take a look at $14.99 it costs to get HBO Max. Let's say that all those 2.8 million people that watched it got HBO Max just to watch Suicide Squad. So they all paid $14.99. You're looking at another $41 million that Suicide Squad would make on top of that $71 million, taking its total to $112 million. Again, that's not how the math works, but you have to start to look at it kind of like that when you're talking about the streaming services and with the box office numbers. Black Widow also made, what was it, 20 or 30 million on Disney Premiere Plus or whatever the hell it's called. Mm-hmm. So they made an additional. So yes, Black Widow, again, you also have to look at it this way. Two things. Black Widow is an MCU film. It's the first MCU film in 2 years. 2 full years went by without an MCU film. When it comes to DC, it's only been about 1.5 years. So less time has passed between DC films than a Marvel film. Then we also have to look at the fact that it's rated R. Black Widow's PG-13. So you have a rated R film, which it's a hard R. It's not a soft R. Yeah. It's a hard R film releasing during the pandemic. The marketing was not all that great for it. I think we had a total of like 2 trailers, if that. And I never saw a TV spot. And there really wasn't much buzz surrounding the movie. So when you get into the whole of it, 71 million isn't that bad when you really think of it all. So in my opinion, no, I don't think it bombed. I don't think it did. What do you think?
I don't think it bombed. I just think it's a victim of poor marketing and terrible timing. I mean, we're still kind of in a pandemic, kind of not in a pandemic. We're in like pandemic 1.3.2. You know, because part of the world's on fire, but the other part isn't. So.
530 days into flattening the curve in 2 weeks or whatever.
Hey, whatever. If we get another stimmy, I'm fine with it. But I don't think it bombed.
Give me them Biden bucks.
Yeah, right.
But, no, you're right. It really didn't bomb. It didn't. They probably wanted it to do better. I think the budget was around $150 million budget. But you're going to take a look at it this way. It'll be on HBO Max for another couple weeks. People are going to rent it still. People are still going to theaters to see it. It's probably going to earn box office run. It'll probably get about 90 to 95. Take into consideration then what they earn through rentals, and then take a look at the DVD, Blu-ray sales and the digital sales. It's not gonna break even with marketing and everything, but it's not as big of a failure as I think a lot of people think it is.
I'm still looking forward to a sequel because you know it's going to happen.
Oh, absolutely. And James Gunn's teased it. All right, going to move on to more DC. Titans Season 3 starts in just like 2 days. This Friday, I believe it is. Did you get caught up on Titans by any chance?
I'm only 2 seasons behind.
So you haven't watched a single episode. Gotcha.
I think I was like the other night, because for some reason I just don't sleep anymore. The other night I couldn't fall asleep, so I think I started watching like the first episode, and it was like 3 a.m. and I passed out like 20 minutes into it or something.
I gotcha. Yeah, it's an enjoyable show. I didn't like the way season 2 ended, but they've shown a couple clips today, which I thought were really, really interesting of the upcoming season. And we all know what's coming. We know Red Hood's coming. We know Barbara Gordon's going to be involved in this season, which is exciting. We're getting more Bruce Wayne than we got the last 2 seasons. Well, the first season had none. Last season had a little bit of them. So that's exciting. I want to see where they're taking it. And I love the casting. I think the casting has been done really well with this show. There's a lot of people who gripe with the guy who's playing Bruce Wayne because he's an older gentleman. I mean, I think he's in his 60s. So people are freaking out like he looks too old. But you got to remember, this is Dick Grayson was Robin for like 20 years and then he leaves, and Batman technically doesn't get started till he's in his 30s. The timing works. It's about right about how old Batman would be. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to check it out. I know my son Chase is absolutely ecstatic about this. He loved the first 2 seasons. He is a huge DC fan, which I'm proud to,
fucking nerds.
Proud father right here that he's a big DC fan. But it comes out Friday, so I'm excited about that. And last thing that came up over the last couple of days, and I'm still kind of indifferent about this. Taika Waititi is being courted, rumored. It is rumored that Taika Waititi is being courted by Warner Brothers for DC projects. So I like Taika Waititi as a director. I absolutely loved Jojo Rabbit. I adored that movie.
That movie is great.
That is an amazing, fantastic film. Thor Ragnarok.
A dumpster fire for Thor's character, but you know.
I'm not really looking forward to Thor Love and Thunder. Hey, Mike, what's going on, man? Thanks for stopping by and saying, hey, what's going on?
I can still draw those provocative stick figures for you if you need me to.
But the idea of him coming in and doing a DC project, look, James Gunn and Taika Waititi, in my mind, are very similar to Marvel, for Marvel. They both brought a very different take to that universe and more comedic and different types of humor to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. James Gunn, because his humor is a lot more adult that we've seen, I think the transition to something like Suicide Squad with Harley Quinn and Peacemaker, Polka Dot Man, you know, just these weird, crazy characters works for him. Taika Waititi, I don't think fit the Marvel Cinematic Universe, though, because he tried to do that, what James Gunn did with Guardians, he tried to do that with Thor. And I don't think it worked. It worked with like Tom Hiddleston's Loki because his character and the way that he's portrayed Loki has been like that. You know, he's a jokester, he's a prankster, he's the god of mischief. Makes sense. But when you take Thor and completely change his character up from what he has been for the last, 8 years prior to that, it just didn't work for me. And I'm worried that he's going to come in and they're going to be like, Taika, do a Superman. He's going to do to Superman what he did to Thor. And that's what I'm worried about. I believe Taika Waititi could be a good director. Again, Jojo Rabbit is fantastic. He's an amazing writer as well. Again, I'm not sitting here saying that I don't like him. I just don't trust him taking over a DC project right now, especially when the DCEU is so unstable at this point in time, especially in the eyes of the fans.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust a man that played Hitler either, but
come on, that was great.
He was. Great. Okay, there's no way to make this sound good, but he was a good Hitler. I mean,
and don't forget. I mean, he was in the Suicide Squad. He was Ratcatcher 1. Yeah. So he's got connections to DC. He was also in the Green Lantern movie. He's got connections to DC. So it's not it's not unlikely that he will not do a DC film. But he has stated that he is currently full in on his Star Wars movie. He did recently tweet out, or was in an interview or something. He said he is full in on his Star Wars film right now. So if he does take a DC property, we're looking at maybe 3-4 years down the line.
Yeah, he's currently working. I heard this from sources that he's currently working on a Wookiee stand-up show.
What?
Just various kinds of growls in front of a crowd. That's all it is.
I don't know what to say there. Marvel. Moving on to Marvel. What if episode 1 came out today? Did you have a chance to check it out?
Oh, I didn't know it came out today. I thought it was next week. Nice. Oh, also, hey, side note, Spider-Man's birthday was like 2 days ago.
No, it was like the 1st or something like that. But it's not terrible. The animation is great. I think the animation is beautiful for What If. This first episode was what if Peggy Carter took the super serum instead of Steve Rogers?
She just bakes cookies really fast.
Wow. And the story just wasn't all that interesting. It was slow. There's a few parts where I'm sitting there, I'm just yawning, like, what? I don't really care.
Nothing about that story seems interesting. Like, no one cares if Peggy Carter would have took it or not.
No. People cared because it was the 1940s, and they're like, women can't do anything.
But like that, I didn't care for that. I don't care. I didn't care if she would take it or not. Whatever. Like, I can live without knowing it.
It's not a good start to the series, in my opinion. I'm hoping that the rest of the series is better. I think that they should have released 2 episodes this week to really draw the fans in, because I think that it was not a good start. I know a lot of the people who got to review the show already the past week or so got 3 episodes to watch, and they're all talking highly of the show, but when they talk about it, it's never about the first episode. It's always the next 2. So I think that they should have released 2 episodes just to build the hype. I haven't seen a lot of hype about it on Twitter after today either, so we'll see. Venom, Let There Be Carnage, a trailer dropped last week, and I couldn't give a shit.
Oof. Venom.
Did you see the trailer?
No, because I never watched Venom. I get to about halfway through it and I fall asleep.
I thought we didn't go see it together.
No, every time I go to see Venom or try to sit down and watch Venom, I fall asleep in it.
Yeah.
Every time. So I'm not even interested in the sequel because I can't get into the first one.
The first one's horrible, and the trailer for the second one looks atrocious. It looks worse than the first one. And nice. I don't know how that's possible because, in my opinion, Venom is possibly number 1 or number 2 worst comic book movie ever made. So it's impressive that they're able to make a movie that's worse.
Nice. I mean, I fall asleep. Me and Nicole, I'll name drop her, have tried to sit down and watch it. She's fallen asleep. I've fallen asleep. I can do it first thing in the morning. I still fall asleep. It's impossible. I just can't do it.
All right. So we're going to now dive in to our upcoming movies, the remaining movies of 2021 that we're hyped about or maybe not hyped about, but we are going to talk about them here because it's going to be a little bit of fun. So I'm going to start it off here with a movie that's coming out next, actually in a couple days. Free Guy.
Oh yeah, that comes out Friday, doesn't it?
Ryan Reynolds' Free Guy comes out this Friday. I have been looking forward to this movie since last year. It was supposed to come out last year. I've been excited about it since then. I want to see this movie, although my hype for it has dwindled a little bit because I feel like we've gotten too much now. I think we've gotten too much in the marketing because they've now marketed it for a year and a half. And I personally don't think that I don't think we should have seen that much.
I'm just interested to watch it and then see how many, see if we can put all the trailers together and piece it together to watch the whole movie.
Much love, Mike, for the heart. Much love.
Yeah. That makes me homosexual.
But what? All right. But yeah, that is my only concern. I don't know. I'm hoping it's good.
Yeah, I plan on allegedly seeing it illegally, but just allegedly.
Allegedly.
I'm excited for Don't Breathe 2, which releases on the same day.
There it is. Don't Breathe 2. Yes, Don't Breathe 2.
That's Don't Breath 2.
Don't Breath. Ah, crap. Don't Breath 2.
But yeah,
hold on.
Fixing typos as we go. There we go. Don't Breathe 2.
Don't Breathy. Don't Breathy 2.
don't Bray the 2.
So tell me about it a little bit, Cole, because I never saw the first one. Why should I be excited about a second one or even watching a first one?
All right, so are you interested in turkey-based or inseminations?
No.
Are you excited about blind guys beating up people?
No.
Okay, well, then you probably won't like a second one. Anyway, so there's these 3 kids. I feel like they're 16 or 18 or whatever, and they break into this blind dude's house that they think is an easy score.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out that he's his senses are super enhanced or whatever. I don't really remember why, but he's blind, so apparently his hearing is superhuman. So basically, it turns into that he's not trapped in the house with them; they're trapped in the house with him. So eventually, they go down to the basement. And they find this girl tied up, and he's been inseminating her with a turkey baster to get a child.
Interesting.
And then the girl ends up getting kidnapped by him and inseminated, and then boom, cliffhanger ending. But based on the trailers that she like gives birth and then he raises the little girl.
Oh, okay. So that you just gave away the next movie, so I don't need to see either of them. Cool, thanks.
Well, no, I mean that's like the first thing you see in the trailer. I don't really know. That's like because like YouTube, you can just like skip ads, and I only get to that part of the trailer and I skip it because I'm like whatever. I'm still gonna watch it. I don't care what it looks like. Just being honest.
All right. Well, let's move on to the next one then. We got The Protege.
Oh, you missed Paw Patrol.
Ah, crap.
Paw Patrol, the movie.
Protege comes out on August 20th. It is a Michael Keaton spy thriller, I believe, which I'm loving the resurgence of Michael Keaton over the last like 5 to 10 years, not even 10 years, like 5 to 6, 7, 8 years, something like that. Michael Keaton has always been one of my favorite actors. Besides the fact that he went to the same school that I went to when I was a kid, or I went to the same school he went to, he's just a great actor. And he's never, in my opinion, he's never gotten enough credit for what he's brought to being an actor. So I'm really excited that he is getting his due. And this one really looks interesting. I will say, I mean, it's one of those ones that isn't a big tentpole franchise that has been around forever. Mm. So that's kind of exciting. I like movies where it's just like, hey, maybe this is a one and done. Sure, let's go with that.
Yeah. Hurry up and quick cash grab.
I will say that there's quite a few horror films on this list, and we're coming up to another one, which comes out on the 27th of August, Candyman. Nice. So do you know anything about Candyman? I don't know anything.
I know that he can eat bees, or not eat bees, but he like swarms bees. And you can't say his name into a mirror, 3 times or something like that. Oh no, that was like I wasn't even born yet when that movie came out, so Okay. Well, it came out in 92, I think, or something like that.
Is that what it really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So right. Well, here, Wikipedia does no wrong. It's apparently a direct sequel to the first one, I'm assuming. So you have Candyman and then its sequel Candyman. Great planning there. I
mean, Suicide Squad, the Suicide Squad.
Well, see, there's a difference there. It's literally Candyman sequels Candyman. Makes no sense. But apparently there's 4 of them. I don't know. I never really watched them, so I know that he can spit bees. He has like a flamethrower of a mouth, but with bees. So
yeah, that's about it.
That's about all I know.
That's all I know. Also, I was hoping that you're the big horror movie fan here, man. You should know this stuff.
It's on my list of things to watch. I've been watching a lot of stuff. I've been cutting down on my list.
Well, finally, jeez.
Yeah, I know. I'm only 20 years in the past.
Shang-Chi, The Legend of the Ten Rings, comes out on September 3rd. That is less than a month away. We're getting the next Marvel Cinematic Universe film, and one that doesn't take place in the past like Black Widow did, but rather starting to push the universe forward after Endgame and after Far From Home. I don't know. I don't know much about Shang-Chi. I don't.
I know he's Asian. That's about it.
But I am really looking forward to this movie because I'm really excited to see some Kung Fu. That's what I want to see. I want to see the Kung Fu flair in a Marvel film. And I'm just hoping that they do it well. I hope that they explain the character well enough so the general audience will get behind it and excited as well. And I hope that they recast Iron Fist and bring in Iron Fist back into the MCU, because the guy they had in the Iron Fist show sucked, but the Iron Fist character is so interesting and really cool. I would like to see them continue his story. And this is a great segue into getting into the Iron Fist again.
I have no desire to watch this movie. Not going to lie. Nothing about it seems interesting to me.
Well, don't you suck?
I mean, I'm still going to watch it, but literally nothing
not even not one thing.
Nothing.
Jeez. All right. You better pull up your Wikipedia here, because I'm guessing you don't know anything about this next movie, because I know nothing about it, but I put it on the list because it's a horror film.
Yay. Oh,
Malignant.
Malignant. Oh. Man, could you imagine Ligma? Oh, hey, it's directed by James Wan. I got Wikipedia open.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
It's got like a 75% chance of being decent.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It really has nothing on even Wikipedia, to be honest. I can read the premise for you.
Go for it.
In the film, Madison is paralyzed by shocking visions of grisly murders, and her torment worsens as she discovers that these waking dreams are in fact terrifying realities. Oh, I don't know. That sounds kind of bad. I'm not gonna lie.
Is that it? That's the synopsis?
That's literally it. And then you have like the production and then the release. That's it.
Ridiculous. All right. Well, James Wan though, you can't really go wrong with James Wan though.
He's like the grandfather of like modern horror.
I wouldn't say he's the grandfather, but he's really been a big part of the modern day horror genre, with the exception of Aquaman and Aquaman 2 coming. But yeah.
So,
all right.
I don't know. I'll probably check it out.
The most unanticipated film of mine of 2021, Venom: Let There Be Carnage, coming out September 24th.
I thought you were going to say Dating in New York. That would have been.
Man, I'm looking so forward to that, man. It's going to be amazing now.
No, it's probably like that. So, Nicole, my girlfriend, drags me to these like chick flicks all the time. Not that I have a problem with chick flicks, because there are a few that are okay. And the last one she dragged me to was like, there was a floating conscience that just woke up in a different person every day. And this girl just conveniently happened to know what that person was or who that person was every day. And that was it. The whole premise. I was like, what is happening? This movie has no plot at all.
Interesting. Well, Venom: Let There Be Carnage is the sequel to the oddly big hit Venom that came out in 2018, 2019?
Something around there.
Yeah, that
dumpster fire.
Rumor has it, this is the only reason why I'm curious to see where this movie goes. Because rumor has it Morbius is going to show up in the film. Now we know we're getting a Morbius movie, which is the living vampire, played by Jared Leto. Cool. That is coming out next January or February. I know they pushed that back. But we do know that Morbius has a connection to the MCU because they, in the trailer for Morbius, have Michael Keaton's Vulture pop up in it. So if Morbius shows up in Venom and Vulture is in Morbius, the connection working its way to the MCU is becoming more and more apparent and prevalent there. Caleb, what's going on, man? It's been a while. Thanks for watching. Shang-Chi, Eternal, Spider-Man, No Way Home, all level 10 hype meters for me. Ghostbusters Afterlife is about an 8 or 9 hype meter. Matrix 4 is about 7. The Kingsman is about 6. We're going to get into all of that very soon because we're coming up on those. And he says Venom is about a 4 or 5 on the hype meter. What's up, Caleb? Thank you so much for joining us. Now, that's the only reason why I'm excited. Not even excited. I'm just curious and interested to see if Venom actually does that. Are they going to connect Venom to the MCU, which I think is a horrible idea, but it's a possibility. And if they do that, then okay, whatever. It is what it is, and maybe Kevin Feige can step in and maybe help push them in the right direction.
Like catch the last 2 on fire and make a new one.
Please. The biggest thing that I don't like about it is because I know they've done comic books with Venom not ever being part, the symbiote never being part of Spider-Man. I know that. But a big part of why Venom is so cool and why that symbiote is so cool is because of his desire to reconvene, to reattach himself to Peter Parker Spider-Man. Like, that is what Venom wants to do. He wants to be part of Spider-Man, which is why, when he attaches to Eddie Brock, he doesn't completely meld and mold with Eddie Brock and become one creature. They're two separate beings still. Whereas you take a look at Carnage, attaches himself to Cletus Cassidy, and they become one being because that's the perfect host for Carnage. And you're not going to get that if they don't bring in a Spider-Man to this universe. And can you really bring Spider-Man into the universe now? Because technically Spider-Man, Peter Parker, is the first one that gets the symbiote, but Eddie Brock got it first. So it's just... And honestly,
it's going to take a lot of fancy writing for it.
I really would like to see. Look, I'm not a huge Tom Holland fan. I do like him as Spider-Man. I don't rag on him like a lot of people do, and I don't praise him like a lot of people do. But I think it'd be interesting to see him as Venom, like black suit Venom Spider-Man. I think that'd be cool. I don't know.
Having his big hormonal battle too.
Yeah, be interesting. Definitely interesting. All right, the next movie. Now, this is another movie that's got pushed back now. It's about a year and a half plus pushed back. And
Hotel Transylvania 4.
No Time to Die.
Damn it.
007, No Time to Die. I'm a huge Bond fan. I've loved Daniel Craig. We've talked about this on our shows in the past. I love Daniel Craig as Bond. This is going to be his final outing as Bond. So that's definitely going to get me my butt in the seat to watch this. I don't want to see him go, but I understand it's time. He's run his course. I mean, he's been Bond since 2004, 5, somewhere. Maybe
that long? Jeez.
Yeah, it's been crazy. It's been a long ride for him. Obviously, I think it's only been 5 movies, right? Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace.
Something like
that. 4, 5 movies, something like that. I don't know. He's a great Bond. Hate to see him go, but
love to watch him leave.
I can't wait to see this movie. I just hope they do it justice. I hope they give him a proper send-off. And honestly, I know he's a little old, but I still really want Idris Elba as the next Bond. I really do.
That would be dope.
He's such an amazing actor. He's such a damn good actor. And I hate how he plays so many character roles because he is a leading man and he just doesn't get leading man roles. And I don't understand it. I just don't.
He's too busy playing Knuckles right now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That came. I'm excited about that. I can't wait for that movie. All right, the next one, which I know you're excited about, me not so much.
Hey.
By the way, No Time to Die comes out on October 8th. Halloween Kills coming out October 15th.
It's theoretically the third one in the in the series.
Yes, because the first Halloween
chronologically,
77, 78, whatever that was.
Yeah.
And then Halloween. So it was Halloween, then Halloween.
Oh, yeah. Horror just does that thing where we make sequels that have the same name just to confuse people. Candyman is the sequel to Candyman and Halloween's the sequel to Halloween.
And now we got Halloween Kills.
I don't feel like we need this, but, whatever. If you want to milk the series, milk the series.
I don't think the last one was good enough to warrant another one. In my opinion, it just wasn't. But
It ended not perfectly, but it ended well enough to not necessitate a sequel.
Yeah.
But here we are getting a sequel. But
baffles me for sure.
I'll check it out.
So we got that coming. I think the final one is Halloween Ends. I think comes out next year.
I bet that what's her face? Why can't I think of her name?
Mike, did you see the last Halloween? The movie was horrendous. There wasn't a moment. I think Colton and I actually went and saw it together in theaters.
Yeah.
And we thought we were going to be all snuggled up, getting scared and everything. No, The whole time I'm sitting there like, really? Really?
You're like, really? And I was like, why does he have a pocket full of teeth? That's fucking weird.
It was such a bad movie. Why? Why do they keep why do people like shitty movies? I don't get it.
Because sometimes they're so bad they're good.
No, but then they get sequels.
Yeah, then you just shit on the sequel, and then you get the original Halloween timeline where there's 15 of them.
Caleb goes, No Time to Die being the last Bond film for Daniel Craig. I hope the inevitable reboot casts Tom Ellis from Lucifer's. That's not a bad casting also. I really do like Tom Ellis, and I really hate that we got only one more season left of Lucifer. My fiance and I have just eaten up that show for the last year or so. I already watched it prior to the pandemic, but last year while we were stuck at home, I got her into it, and she absolutely adores that show, and as do I. And honestly, I that's not a bad casting for it. I don't know if Tom Ellis has the ability to lead a film. He's done really good on TV. I haven't seen him on film, so I don't know if he can be a leading man in a series like that. I don't also know if he has the grit like Daniel Craig has. But I don't mind that. I think that could turn out to be really cool. I do. And Mike Peacock said, nope, looked terrible too, talking about the first Halloween. So
yeah. Well, I mean, Daniel Craig got a whole bunch of crimes to solve in Knives Out series.
Yeah, he's got, what is there, 2 or 3 sequels coming to Amazon for that?
Yeah, something like that. But he got a whole bunch of crimes to solve, so,
I liked the first one.
I did too. You got to put Captain America back in jail because he broke out again. I don't know.
Bond against Captain America, whatever. All right.
Hey,
I'm
whatever.
I'm looking forward to the next one, so I can't wait for that. Next movie, which Halloween comes out on October 15th, but the next movie on the same day, October 15th, is The Last Duel. Now, you may not know about this. A lot of people may not know about this. The trailer actually just dropped about a week ago. The reason why I'm excited about this film is Matt Damon and Ben Affleck wrote this film together. Now, if we all remember, there's a little film that they wrote together way back in the 90s that won them Academy Award and shit like that, starring Robin Williams, called Good Will Hunting. Fantastic film. Now, The Last Duel is not Good Will Hunting. It's not a sequel to Good Will Hunting. It's not anything like that. This is a period piece that takes place and is based on a true story back in the Knights and Kings time, way back when a ruler, I believe it's a king, if I'm not mistaken, rapes a man's wife. And they accuse the king of this or the ruler of this, and they have to have a duel. And the king is played by Ben Affleck, and the knight or the other guy is played by Matt Damon. So what the hell? I'm excited about it. That's all I'm saying. I'm excited for it. Can't wait for this movie. Comes out on October 15th. Looking forward to that for sure. Probably the most anticipated movie, not mine, but for everybody else in the world right now, Dune.
Oh, I was hoping you were going to say Jackass 4.
Dune comes out on October 22nd, and it's based off of a very, very popular science fiction book. And a lot of people are going to probably try and take my nerd card away here, but I've never read the book. I'm not a big reader, though. I only read certain things, and I have to really, really, really want to read something. So I've never read the book. I have caught bits and pieces of the miniseries that was on Sci-Fi back in the 90s. I've never watched the movie that was made back in the 80s. So I know that there's a lot out there when it comes to Dune. I'm just not very well versed in the whole aspect and overarching story of Dune. But that trailer they released about a month ago looks damn good. And the cast they have for this thing is ridiculous.
That's what I was just reading. I was like, holy shit.
Read off who the cast is. Go for it.
I can't pronounce Timothy Chalamet.
Timothy Chalamet.
Rebecca Ferguson, Oscar Isaac, Josh Brolin, Stellan Skarsgård, Dave Bautista, Stephen McKinley Henderson, Zendaya, David. I'm not even going to attempt that one. Chang Chen, Sharon Duncan Brewster, Charlotte Rampington, Aquaman, and Javier Bardem.
Aquaman, also known as Jason Momoa, but yes, Mike Peacock says, Dune looks badass. It really does, and this is coming from somebody, like I said, I'm not very versed in that universe. I know about it. I have a friend who was all about Dune, and he constantly tried to get me to read Dune and get more into it. Growing up, I just never did, and it looks spectacular. My only concern is they only did half of the story. This is not the entire story from the book. It's only half of it. The second movie they're supposed to make a second movie that finishes off the story. However, the way Warner Brothers is releasing films right now, we saw it with the Suicide Squad. We saw it with King Kong. We saw it with Space Jam. We saw it with all these films. And what they're doing this year is they're releasing it day and date on HBO Max as well as in the theaters. And when they do that, they lose out on money. We just talked about it in the Suicide Squad. Just talked about it. And that is a problem because if this movie, which is a very, very high budget movie, and it's a tentpole franchise, if this does not succeed, we're only going to get half the story and they're going to can the sequel. And that's kind of disappointing. It really is.
That would be the big sad. Except, I've never even looked at Dune because it's almost 20 years older than me.
Caleb goes, Dune looks good. Question mark? It'll probably be decent.
Period.
Right, period. Thanks. Oh, man. All right. So after Dune, actually not after Dune, the same day we get Jackass Forever.
Yeah, I want to watch 50-year-old men die.
Look, I am from the Jackass generation. No, Colton's not even technically from the Jackass generation. Yeah. I am. I remember sitting in my bedroom watching Jackass on MTV on original runs, like the first time it aired. Now, the crazy thing that a lot of people don't know about Jackass, because you sit there, like, especially I sit here sometimes, or I've sat there before, and like, man, they had like 4 or 5 seasons. Like, they were always on. But they literally had 15 freaking episodes, and that was it. They had 15 episodes. Yeah. They just ran over and over and over and over again.
Yeah, well, growing up, I and to this day, if I could ever get in contact, I would be on the Jackass thing.
Jackass, probably Mike is saying Jackass lawsuits are a thing now. I'm not really sure what that all means. If you want to explain a little bit more, but I mean, my friends and I, we would act like the Jackass crew, and we would jump in shopping carts and ram into walls and jump into bushes, and we would do the stupid shit, not the dangerous stuff. Well, I mean, it was still kind of dangerous, but not as dangerous as they did. But we did all that stupid shit because of Jackass, which led to, Viva La Bam and all that jazz. I was also that crew because I was a skateboarder in high school, so I was also that crew that was going to follow all these people anyways. But I'm from the Jackass era. So I obviously want to see this movie just because of that there. I'm sure it's going to be terrible. I'm sure watching these 50, 60-year-old men get hurt because...
One of them's just going to kick out a walker and they're going to fall over and like fall to dust.
Yeah, Mike is, Mike mentions Bam is suing everyone for kicking him out. He is. I actually just read that yesterday. He's
spiraled.
He's spiraled. He's suffering substance abuse, and I think he has a problem with gambling. There's a whole bunch of issues he's dealing with right now, from what I understand. And the Jackass crew's like, look, you're a liability. We can't deal with this. And they kind of booted him from the movie because of it. And when the Jackass crew boots you from their shenanigans,
maybe you're a little too wild.
You might have a problem. You just might have a problem. Yes, Mike.
You're not wrong.
Bam is a jackass. Yes, very much so. Yeah, it was. It's very interesting what's going on. But that comes out the same day as Dune on October 22nd. I'm pretty sure I'm probably going to go see Dune. Of course, I can watch Dune at home. And that's where the stuff with Warner Brothers comes in, because that's probably a movie you have to see in the theater, but it's just going to be so much more convenient for me that weekend to just sit at home, pop some popcorn, snuggle up with the lady friend, and watch Dune.
That sounds kind of sus to me, but
HBO Max and chill. All right, the next one.
Oh my God, you skipped 2 of them.
What did I skip?
We have a moral obligation to talk about The Last Night in Soho.
Or why? What is The Last Night in Soho?
We interviewed the we didn't interview. We did a Justice League episode with the guy. He's in England. Yeah. We have a moral obligation to watch that one.
I forgot that he was in that. Yeah. He and I got into it a little bit on Twitter a couple weeks ago. So.
Well, I have no part of the beef. I will go and support it.
Yeah.
And then Antlers.
What's Antlers?
It's a horror film, and it looks like deer. No, I don't know. It's an upcoming horror film, and it's about a school teacher and her brother that go after concerned about one of her kids, and they go inside her house, and it's all kinds of supernatural shit happening. It's kind of interesting looking. Before
we jump to the next one, Caleb goes, I never got into Jackass, or I never got Jackass. I did get into the spiritual spinoff of Ridiculousness with Rob Dyrdek, which was basically America's Funniest Home Videos, but edgier. Yeah, Jackass, there's a certain generation, and you also had to be into that kind of crowd to really enjoy that show, I think. I mean, my brother, who's 8 years older than me, he watched a couple episodes. He never was into it like I was. But my friends and I mean, we were middle school, high school at that time. It was just prime time for us, just to see that craziness go on. And again, I was a skateboarder. I would try BMXing from time to time, rollerblading. I did all that kind of extreme sports crap back when I was younger. And it was just easy to replicate what they were doing because of that.
Even had the Heelys and all.
No, I didn't have Heelys. I always wanted them, never got them.
Yeah, I wonder if they were really that convenient.
Nor did I ever get soap shoes, which I also wanted soap shoes, but I never got those.
Never heard of soap shoes.
Jeepers Creepers Reborn. Now, Mr. horror fan here. Tell me a little bit about this. Do you know anything about this?
I didn't know they were making a Reborn, considering the last one got canceled for pedophilia or something like that. Yeah, there was like child pedophilia, but there wasn't any child pedophilia. He just ate a kid, and everybody was like, "He's a pedophile." So I just assumed that they weren't going to make another one.
Ridiculous.
I'm assuming he's reborn.
Doesn't he come every 7 years? So it just makes sense, right?
I mean, so does every sad, lonely guy in an abandoning or a spiraling marriage. Oof.
All right. Well, then we're just going to skip this because, well, it doesn't sound. I never liked the Jeepers Creepers series. I believe. I don't know. My fiance will probably want to watch it because she likes horror films. I'm not. You know me. I'm not a big horror movie fan. I
put it in the same tier as like Rob Zombie's Devil's Rejects series.
Kind of makes sense because it's edgier like his films are. Which
it's edgier and lower budgeted.
Speaking of Rob Zombie, dude, he's got the Munsters. He's making the freaking Munsters.
I know. I'm excited for it.
I'm pumped for that. I can't wait for that. All right, next one is Eternals. Comes out on November 5th. November 5th, we get the next, after Shang-Chi, we get Eternals for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I know nothing about the Eternals. I've never read a comic. I've never investigated, looked into the Eternals. All I have in them going off is that trailer that they showed, that they kind of sit back and they stay out of all the shit that's going on in the universe. They don't want to interfere because they're sort of like gods. They're sort of like more omnipotent figures. And if they interfere, things go awry, whatever. So I'm looking forward to it. It's got a decent cast. I mean, you got Jon Snow, you got Tomb Raider, you got a few other people in there as well.
It's Laura Croft.
Sorry.
Tomb Raider.
The original.
That's like calling Link Zelda. Come on now.
First off, Tomb Raider's not even a person, where Zelda is actually the princess and Link is Link. You can't sit there and say that's the same thing. It's not the same thing, damn it.
Touche.
And all the 80s nerds out there, we got on November 11th, Ghostbusters Afterlife. I cannot wait for this movie. The 2016 reboot-esque Ghostbusters was absolute trash. It was horrendous. It needs to be thrown in the garbage, never looked at again, burned, kill it dead, get rid of it. Let's get rid of the taste of that horrid film, and let's get excited about Ghostbusters Afterlife. Because this is a true successor. This is a true sequel to Ghostbusters 2 back from the early 90s. Same characters, same storyline. I cannot wait for this movie. The two trailers that we've gotten have looked fantastic. The only thing I'm worried about is Paul Rudd being in it. It's the only thing. And I'm not a Paul Rudd fan. I like Paul Rudd. But the beauty of the first two Ghostbusters is that these characters are in a drama. They are in a horror drama film, and they bring the comedy to it. That is the beauty of those two films. Paul Rudd can't do that. He's not a leading man. He is a side, he is definitely he's a character actor. He's not a leading man. But coming into this, I'm worried that they're going to make him I think the kids are going to be the leads in this, but he's going to be the lead adult. And I'm hoping that they don't do his stupid, ridiculous comedy that they like to do with Paul Rudd in all of his films. That's my only concern with it.
I'm going to call it right now. One of the original three that are coming back are going to die. And that's where the Afterlife title comes.
Real quick, Eternals. Caleb says Eternals is basically Marvel's version of New Gods. It's Jack Kirby at his finest, who, funnily enough, created both New Gods and Eternals. Thank you very much, Caleb. Mike, he goes, as long as it's not the shitty chick busters. 100% agree.
Sexist! Sexist!
Wow. No, we do know that Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, and Ernie Hudson will be back for this movie. Unfortunately, Harold Ramis, who passed away back in, I believe, 2012, 2013, somewhere around there. Unfortunately, he passed away. He won't be back, but he does live on because this whole movie is about his grandchild and his family. That's what I'm looking forward to on that. And he goes, yes. Mike says, yes, that it was terrible of me to say when he said Chickbusters. But he's not wrong. That movie was so bad. And my complaint has always been what I just explained, what the original two Ghostbusters was. That's not what the 2016 Ghostbusters is. It is not a horror drama type of film. It is a straight up comedy. They wrote it as a comedy. They made it a comedy. That's why it fails. It fails because they did not take what the concept of Ghostbusters is and properly execute it. That's what I'm hoping, only because Reitman's son, Ivan Reitman, who directed the first two films, his son is actually doing this movie and he wrote it. So I'm hoping that because of that, it will definitely be better. I hope they don't try to do the Star Wars style CG with Ramis. I don't think they will. I think that they're going to truly honor Ramis and just leave him be. And they're going to focus on the kids. And obviously the old Ghostbusters are going to be there in some form or fashion. I don't think they're going to do anything stupid, though. Oh, man. Next one. I'm out for 80s kids, guys. 80s kids. Yep. Top Gun Maverick. I love Top Gun. Huge fan of the first Top Gun.
I'm more of a middle gun guy.
Looking forward to Top Gun Maverick. I'm a Tom Cruise fan. I know he's crazy. I know he believes in some weird-ass god in outer space or some weird stuff with the Scientology crap. I get that, but he is a fun actor. He makes fun action films. You can't deny that he's not the box office draw that he was in the 90s, but he's still a box office draw. I look at the Mission Impossible movies. They're still going on. And now you got Top Gun coming back with Top Gun Maverick. I can't wait for that. The trailer that they showed a few weeks back, I like how they have some homages to the original. Like they have them playing in the sand. I think they're playing football though, similar to the volleyball scene in the first one. They have him riding his bike as a plane's taking off next to him. They have a lot of things like that connect to the first one, but I can't wait, man. The first Top Gun's great, and I'm really interested to see how they utilize Val Kilmer in it, because Val Kilmer, unfortunately, we know, developed throat cancer over the last few years. He's been, battling that. He had some stuff removed in his throat, so he now has to speak with a trachea, all that stuff. So I'm really interested to see what they do and how they bring him into the movie and how that fits, because he was a big part of the first Top Gun. We got to see that. Can't wait for that. Next one, Resident Evil, Welcome to Raccoon City. I had no idea that this movie was being made until I saw it.
Yeah, the same. I was just looking at it and I was like,
Look,
I don't know how I feel about it.
I'm okay with them removing the other Resident Evils from everything. I'm fine with that. What's up, Nicotina Show? What is going on, man? Thank you so much for tuning in.
I'm not Robert, but I'll still say hi.
Thanks for tuning in. But Resident Evil, Welcome to Raccoon City. I'm looking forward to, again, anything to get rid of those Mila Jovovich films. The first one was great. Second one, and after that, just went downhill fast. Yeah. And I don't know why they kept making them, but they did.
They were committed to the story. I keep telling myself that.
Yeah, they pretty much were. So I'm okay with this. It seems like it's going to follow more closely to the games. It seems like this first one is going to take place kind of during where the first game took place, and really establishing Raccoon City and utilizing the city as the backdrop, as opposed to what those movies did, where they were like, here's a facility underneath Raccoon City. Oh, here's Raccoon City. Okay, now we're away from Raccoon City, because they just never stayed with it back then with those films. This one, I hope they kind of stick with it for a few films, like the games actually did.
I'm hoping that the first half of the movie, if it's based off the first game, is just spent wandering down a bunch of hallways, running back and forth, and then you find a safe room, and then you can just walk a circle around a zombie.
All right, the next one, which, real quick, Top Gun comes out on November 19th. Resident Evil, Welcome to Raccoon City comes out on November 24th. The next one, West Side Story, coming out on December 10th, directed by Steven Spielberg. That is the only reason why I put it on here, because you can't really go wrong with Spielberg. I'm not a big West Side Story fan, but I am curious to see what they do with this movie in a more, and it's not modern, it's still a period piece. It still takes place back in, what is it, the 50s or the 40s or 30s, something like that. But seeing Spielberg, I want to see what he does with it. That's all. That's the only reason why I have this here. I'm a Spielberg fan, so what the heck?
Nerd.
As long as he has a shark pop out at some point and eat somebody, I'm happy.
That would be so cool. Just walking by a pond or something, just a shark jumps out.
All right, now we're getting to probably my most anticipated movie of the year, which is Spider-Man No Way Home. There are so many rumors flying around about this movie. Is Tobey Maguire in it? Is Andrew Garfield in it? Is Kirsten Dunst in it? Is this person? Is that person in it? I will tell you this. I know for 100% certainty that Tom Holland and Benedict Cumberbatch are in this movie. 100% certain. There you go. Facts. You can take it to the bank. I said it here. You know now.
But after this movie, what you guys don't know is I was casted as Doctor Strange, so he dies in this movie because I can do magic tricks.
We have gotten some content throughout the past few days. They started the marketing very silently. They started the marketing with some reveals of merchandising. They got some merchandise out, t-shirts and things like that. It's looking pretty sick. We got a new Spidey uniform. We see him using some weird web shooters that kind of shoot the magic looking things that Doctor Strange uses. But where's the damn trailer? We are 5 months away from this and there's still no freaking trailer. What the hell, Sony? Get on your shit.
We have a good habit of doing this. It'll release tomorrow. Every time we talk about a trailer, it drops within the next 3 days after we release the episode.
Well, I mean, we should have done this episode like 3 weeks ago.
But like, Marvel is literally edging people with this film. Like, there's no other. Yeah. And I have a feeling it's because it's going to pretty much set up the rest of the MCU from here on out.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I have it on good authority that both Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield will be in this film. Now, when I was told that it would be in a small cameo type of role, that they would not be in a very big portion of the film, it would be in a smaller way. Oh, so yeah. that's what I've been told. So take that as you will. Maybe it's going to be more than that. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm just looking forward to it. I cannot wait for this film.
It'd be super dope if Miles Morales gets introduced.
Yeah.
Super dope. I don't know. I don't keep up with it. So, Donald Glover comes back to play Miles Morales.
Well, that's not going to happen, but
that would be super dope.
But,
is he the token black guy in the film?
Don't worry. All right. So moving
there's
on.
No token black guy?
Moving on. Another anticipated one, The Matrix 4, the fourth. I think it has a name, I don't think they've announced what the subtitle is yet.
Wikipedia still says untitled fourth Matrix film.
So we're getting The Matrix 4, which is a great plug because if you jump over to our YouTube channel, if you're not on there already, and you take a look down through the film or through our films, through the videos, you'll find a little episode called Rebooting the Matrix, where Colton, myself, and our friend Brian, about 3 or 4 years ago, sat down and we rebooted the entire Matrix trilogy. And in my opinion, I say it's better. I do. I say it was a better take on the whole Matrix story. But check that out. It is audio only, but it is a really cool episode. You'll also be able to find it on all your podcatching apps as well. So make sure you check that out. Matrix 4, don't really know anything about it. We know that Keanu Reeves is back. We know that Carrie-Anne Moss is back. And that's about it.
Yeah, I don't even know what else you could like.
I know Neil Patrick Harris is in it. Neil Patrick Harris is going to be in it as well. I think Jada Pinkett Smith is back. But besides that, like, what are they going to do? Like, why is there a Matrix again?
Yeah, like that was kind of the definitive end.
I mean, no, because you can't say it's a definitive end because the way they talk about it at the end is it's just cyclical. It constantly happens. But I want to see why it is how it is now. That's my cue, because they did kind of make it seem like that was the finale. Like that's it. We're done here. But I guess we could see more. Let's see what happens. I'm looking forward to it though. That comes out on December 22nd. Spider-Man No Way Home comes out on December 17th. And finally, the last movie we're going to talk about here today is The Kingsman. I know you're a big Kingsman fan. I also enjoyed The Kingsman. I liked the first one, second one, not so much. But this is a prequel to those.
The second one, ironically, I took Nicole on our first date too because she didn't want to see it, but I didn't think, and she never saw like the Kingsman 1, so she started off with the series at number 2. So I was like, okay, but no, I think it's gonna be dope. I mean, I like the first one. Second one, I unpopular opinion, I like the second one too. Yeah, I mean the whole Country Roads scene kind of sucked. Made no sense. Like, why would there be a random landmine
I don't know.
conveniently right where he stood? But whatever. But I don't know. I'm interested for it. The poster looks dope.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't know. I wasn't very excited about that, or the second one. This one though, prequel, I'm all for it. Let's check it out. Why not?
Yeah.
But everyone, make sure you follow us over on Twitter at BridgeGeekdoms. You can find us on Facebook, Bridging the Geekdoms. You can find us on Instagram, Bridging the Geekdoms. You can find us on TikTok, Bridging the Geekdoms. For more from Bridging the Geekdoms or Colton or our other shows, Shooting the Sith, Polygon Warriors, Movie Boot, all that jazz, you can head to Spoilerverse.com for all of that as well. You got anything else to say, my man?
No, just make sure you look at all those videos or those films we talked about today.
Make sure you go down and hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share this up.
The like button's right here. Looks like that.
Share this video around, get people to like this. Our channel is growing, thankfully, beautifully. I love it. Thank you all who do watch. I know live videos aren't a big thing with us, so we wanted to do this. Mike says, bye, sexy beasts. And you were the sexy one. You were the sexy one. And hey, if you head over to spoilerverse.com, you'll find his little show called Misery Point Radio. So make sure you go and find that as well. But with all that said, everyone, thank you so much for watching. With all that said, I'll talk to all of you later.
Bye.